cabin.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Well, it's Tuesday, making some content. I'm going to be unavailable Thursday. Tomorrow I work. And Thursday I'm actually going to be going out of town for a little jaunt. But anyways, at whatever it's worth, we're here today doing a little content. It's about 100 degrees outside, so no more time cave for right now. Sorry. In the morning on my days off, I have a ritual. That's called coffee. And that ritual includes taking my time and sipping my coffee and easing into the morning. Anyways, that's what I do on my days off. And you know, my days that I work, I get up very early and have coffee and get ready to go. But days off, take my time. So what we're doing today, I'm just going to share a lantern. Yeah, but before we do, we're going to share something else that's a little different. That's right. You know, we have the ironing board out, as you can see. And this is a beautiful 1940s General Electric iron. Now I'm being careful with it because it is hot. It's plugged in. Because I have, as you can see, something here on the table. On the board. The ironing board here. It's a 1940s or 50s rayon gabardine casual shirt. It's called a True Val. It's completely washable. It's a large size. You can see it right here. There's the label. Yeah. But it has a nice pick stitch on the collar, which some people think that looks a little rustic because it looks like it's home sewn, but it's actually a very nice detail. That was very popular in the 50s. Nice long sleeve shirt, beautiful color, kind of a deep pumpkin color. But I like to iron these inside out. And why do inside out? No, I wasn't a sailor. I wasn't in the Navy. But the whole thing is with rayon gabardine and irons. Of course, I have a nice linen towel to use between the iron and the gabardine. It's because you don't want to shine. Okay, I know these are things that maybe grandmother, old housewives know or understood, but I do too because I learned from the best, and I wanted to take care of my vintage clothing as best as possible, and that's something I'm going to be doing with this. And so when you iron, you use a medium heat. Is this high heat? Oh gosh, that is high heat. Let's go down to right about there. Let that cool off. But anyways, we're not going to iron this shirt in front, for you guys. This is just sitting here ready to go when the time's right. But anyways, we'll just push this ironing board away because it's on a swivel. Isn't that great? It's a built-in ironing board from the 1940s. It's been here since the place was built. A lot of people that rent these older apartments, they will notice that they're missing. A lot of them have been turned into spice racks or additional storage. Not a lot of people iron anymore. It's sad, really, if you think about it. Excuse me. Sorry. Anyways, a lot of people don't iron. A lot of people feel ironing is a dirty word and that it's for somebody else to do. And they'll take things to a dry cleaners and have them press it or whatever, or they just buy, wash and wear, and that's fine. That's, no judgments at all. I like the old clothes. I like the weight of the old rayon. This stuff is just beautiful stuff. It's very comfortable, but yes, it does take a little more effort and a little more attention to make it nice. But hey, you put the effort in, you're going to enjoy it more. In my opinion, that's what I do. I put a little effort in, I enjoy wearing it more. That's right. And then you also save a little bit of money. Put it in a delicate wash. You can put it in the washing machine if it says washable. Okay? There's some labels that don't say washable. I usually dry clean those. So I kind of, a lot of washable clothing came out in the 40s and 50s. If it was sanforized or if it was pre-shrunk, then it will have a washable label. But yeah, anyways, we're just getting along. Crazy stuff, but we have a lantern to share. And this is something that came this week. And it's not really unlike anything else I have, but it's still pretty cool. Check that out. What does it look like? Well, you're close. It does look like a rayo. It's very similar to a Rayo, but this is actually made by the Pritchard Strong Company, which many Rayo lanterns were. But this is their own brand, which was Prisco. That's right. So if we look closely here, you'll see it says Prisco on the fountain. Prisco No.2. See? That's right. And on the back, Pritchard Strong. Yeah. Rochester, New York. Now this is pretty much essentially a Rayo number 95 or 92 or whatever it was, because it has a brass burner cone, tin finish, beautifully aged. This has got, I have not done a thing to it. This is exactly how it came. This is one of the reasons why I bought it. It was very inexpensive. I got a pretty good deal on it. It doesn't have a marked Prisco globe, but that's understandable. Those are not very common, and so most Prisco lanterns you'll find that have been used and enjoyed at some point will usually have a replacement globe because, well, they sometimes break. But this is in very good shape, very straight. There's some dents on the front of the fount. See, there's some dents there, but you know what? It's character. But the solder, the generous solder around the skirt, it's really good shape, and there's really no rust on this at all. It has the kind of friction lift lever that most Pritchard Strong lanterns had around the early 1900s up to like 1910. I think eventually they went to a inside side lift, but yeah, these do work. You just push down on here and it locks into place. Okay, a lot of people don't like this style lift because, well, sometimes they're bent out of shape or they're broken, or they're very stiff. But if you give it a little WD-40 or a little oil rather, then you're good. It will work just fine. As long as you oil the parts, it will work very well. And I actually like it. I'm a fan of this design. It works for me very well. I enjoy it. But yeah, it's a good early Prisco. It's probably about 1909, 1910, around there. Maybe a little earlier, but I think they started making lanterns right around 1909. But I'll have to double check. I'm not too sure. But it has the smaller fill cap, which would be definitely pre-1910 in my opinion. I know Prisco did use the smaller fuel spout for maybe a little longer than other manufacturers, but the ones made for Rayo had the larger mouth fuel spouts. But yeah, this is a nice lantern. Really nice patina, excellent shape, and yes, I have burned it. I burned it last night for the first time, and it burns very well. Has an old wick in it, and it's just fine. It's a dandy. It's a really nice old Prisco lantern. Yeah, so interesting thing about Pritchard Strong. I'll just set this here so you can keep it in frame. But Pritchard Strong, they went out of business around 1919, 1920 or so. But they had a slogan. Okay, they had a slogan. And they also had a mascot. And the mascot was a gentleman that was sitting on a Prisco lantern crate wearing... Yeah, they offered a nickel-plated version of their No.2 cold blast. They also offered brass or copper fount examples of their cold blasts. They had a wide variety of different lanterns that they made, and a lot of them were also doubled as Rayo branded lanterns for the Standard Oil Company. Now, for me, of course, the channel is named Rayo Rob, and it's in honor and recognition of the Rayo lanterns that were made by Pritchard Strong in the early 1900s. So the ones that are marked Rayo are my favorite. I really like the style of Pritchard Strong or Prisco lanterns that were rebranded for Rayo. Now Rayo continued past 1919. Standard Oil still had contracts with another company, which was, I believe, Embry, Embury picked up that contract with Standard Oil and stamped lanterns with the Rayo name past 1919, 1920. And all the way through the 1930s. Now, when they stopped doing, when Rayo kind of phased out, I'm not sure. That's kind of something I'm going to have to look into, see if there's any information about that. But I want to almost say that it was the 40s that Standard Oil stopped offering Rayo lanterns. It could have been later, could have been the 50s. But anyways, we'll have to do some digging and ask some of the experts out there that might have a better idea. But I am curious. I should know this because the channel is Rayo Rob, number 17. And of course, we know which lantern that is. It's the little hot blast that I like. And that's the one that lives on the bench in Time Cave. But it's fun stuff. It really is. Pritchard Strong made beautiful lanterns, very well made. And eventually Strong left the company. So it just became Pritchard Manufacturing Company. Or Pritchard MFG, yeah, manufacturing. Anyways, you get the idea. So, but yeah, Strong left the company later on, so it just became Pritchard Manufacturing Company. They also made items for kitchens, like drain traps and all sorts of different kitchen utensils and things. So they made stuff for that, and also lanterns. So I'm not sure what else they made, but maybe silverware, I don't know, flatware, whatever. They made a lot of different things. But they folded about 1919. I think they might have been bought out, but I'll have to do a little more digging. It's hard to find information about a lot of these older companies. Not a lot of it's online. I do a lot of Googling to try and find information, or I ask other collectors who might have catalogs or other documents that would shed some light onto the history. And I'm always interested in learning about the backstory and the history of these wonderful old kerosene burners. But anyways, I mean, this thing is really cool. This is a great lantern. And, it's not going to get any kind of attention except for kerosene in a match. It doesn't need anything. I mean, at some point I will have to replace the wick because it is an old wick. It's not that it's old that it's bad. It's actually better. The old wicks actually can work better. This thing runs really well. But the wick is on the short side, so if I keep burning it, I will have to trim it eventually, and it will just get shorter and shorter and shorter. Then it won't be reaching the fount anymore and wicking up fuel. Or it could be the old timer and just staple on a wick to the bottom of the other wick, and then that way we'll just extend the life. I've actually seen guys, well, not guys doing it, but I've seen remnants of this where if I get a lantern, you'll see a wick that's short, and then they'll have cut up strips of cotton cloth from a shirt or something, and they'll just kind of fold it and make it look like a wick, and then they'll just tie it to the end of the wick, so it will still wick up fuel, so they can still use the wick that's in it. So they weren't buying a brand new wick, and they made it last. They got every little last bit out of the wick that it came with or whatever, just to save some money. Wicks are cheap. I mean, most of the time I was buying wicks at the Ace Hardware when they sold, a box of wicks. You could just pull one out. It was like 39 cents a wick. So that's within recent times. That's only last year that they stopped doing that. Now you have to buy a package of X amount of wicks, maybe 3 or 4 wicks in a pack. But at one time they had a box of just loose wicks, and you could just pull one out for 39 cents for a 5/8. What was a 5/8? Yeah. But back in the 19th century, early 1900s, I'm sure it was maybe a couple cents for a cotton wick. But even then, people wanted to save as much money as possible. Can't say I blame them. Can't say I blame them. But anyways, a penny saved is a penny earned. So But now a penny's not worth much of anything, really. It's sad. Inflation is definitely a crazy thing. So, but with that being said, we're going to get this shirt ironed, and we will be doing that here shortly, and I'll have to get on with the rest of my day. But I thought I'd make a quick video for you guys. Now, Brian got a new subscriber named Brian, and you've probably seen in his comments. He's asking about hats. And I promised that I would make a video about hats this week, because he's also a hat guy. Collects hats, and he's on a few vintage hat or hat enthusiast type of groups on Facebook and whatnot. I don't have the time today to really go into hats, but I will do this for you guys, for Brian. I will definitely make a video when I get back from my trip. I'm just going up north for a couple of days and I'll be back, and I will be making a video just on fedoras. That's right, no lanterns. I know, crazy, right? No lanterns, but just fedoras. And I'll show some of my favorites, and I'll tell you a little bit about the history and about the period that they're from. So yeah, if that's interesting to other people, I hope that it is, because hats are kind of a big part of my life. As you see, I wear one in front of the camera all the time, and that's just who I am. Kind of a hat guy. But anyhow, thanks again for tuning in, everybody. I do appreciate your subscriptions and you guys following the channel and sticking with me. I do appreciate that. So next time we'll be doing hats, so stay tuned for that. And this will probably be next Tuesday, since I am off on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but you know, Tuesdays do work. I like a good Tuesday video time. So yeah, but hopefully it's a little cooler and we can actually be in the garage and do that. If not, we'll do it here in the kitchen or even the living room, and share some of the special, unique hats in my collection, which has not been shown yet on this channel. But so maybe we'll start doing that. Sound good? Awesome. All right, friends, thanks again, and we will see you guys again in after the weekend. Take care now. Bye-bye.